So most people know running marathon is barbaric and it's such a hard thing to do, but almost no one talks about what happens to the body after running 26.2 miles. So today I want to dive into what actually happens to the body after running 26.2 miles. Okay, so first thing that happens to your body is that your muscles gonna get tiny tears and some of your body parts is gonna be sore, and also you're gonna be walking wobbly. All of this information is based on my research online, and I gather all this information and I'm kind of comparing myself to these online informations. And this first one is absolutely true with me. Like, as y'all probably seen my previous videos, the way I walked after the race was really funny, like a newborn deer. Like, I was really wobbly. I'll leave the video on the screen, but yeah, I was walking wobbly, and obviously my legs were really tired, super sore. So I had to sit out for tennis practice for like next 2 days, which my coach wasn't super happy about. He was talking crap about it, but I don't care because he will probably never do it in his life, so he's just kind of envious about that. But I don't really care. I just did it for myself. It's something that I've always wanted to accomplish, so I'm super happy that I did it. And also the other body parts except my legs that were kind of sore is my traps. So right here, my traps were super sore. My traps never ever get sore from running a long distance, but this was the first time that I actually became sore. But yeah, my traps were super sore, and yeah, that's those are the things that I've experienced personally. Okay, so second thing that happens to your body is that you're gonna burn between 26,000 to 35,000 calories, which is equivalent to 5 to 7 cheeseburgers. So now that you think of, kind of have an idea of how much calories is that, it's 5 to 7 cheeseburgers. Most people won't be able to eat that in one sitting, but in my case I burned 32,000 calories around. I'll put the photo in the screen, and yeah, it was a great experience. So much calories, burning so much. But the funny thing is, after the race I wasn't necessarily hungry. After the race there was like event going on in the area and they were like giving away free food, but I wasn't really hungry. So me and my friend Joseph, he came to watch me. I had a ticket for all the free foods, so I just gave it all to him, and he was just eating those free foods. But funny enough, I wasn't really hungry after like hour and a half, 2 hours. After the race, I think my body was just like, give me a rest type thing. So I wasn't super hungry at the moment, but after an hour and so, I was super hungry. So I just started eating whatever I can see, and yeah, that was second thing that happened to my body. Third thing that happens to your body is that you can lose from 2 to 5% of body weight just from sweating. So in my case, I'm the type of guy that does not sweat a lot. It's hard for me to sweat. But this day, specifically on this marathon day, it was super humid. And as I was running, I was sweating a lot. I was, sweating crazy. So after like 30-40 minutes of running, my t-shirt was already like drenched, and I was craving a lot of liquid and water and electrolytes and stuff, so I would stop at every water station just to get these liquids. And I was, like I said in the previous videos, that was part of my mistake, that I stopped at every single water station because I was feeding over those water stations, right? And I wasn't really focused on my race. That's what I'm trying to say here. I'm not saying to not stop at water station. You sure have to 100% have to stop at the water station, because like I said, prevention is better than fix. Drink before you're thirsty, eat before you're hungry. So that is the key and principle in the marathon. So I think you should be drinking before you feel like you're gonna cramp up, because it's gonna be too late after you cramp up. So yeah, always remember that. I always put that in my head, to put that prevention is better than the fix. But I think I was just too worried about consuming too much liquid. But yeah, so you lose on average 2 to 5%. So yeah, you should definitely drink a lot of water afterwards and eat a lot afterwards. So that's a third thing that happened to my body. Fourth and the fifth thing is specifically when you cross the finish line, what you might feel. Okay, so the fourth thing that you might experience is you might cry for no reason. So this was when I did research online about what happens to the body. This was the thing that was actually on the list, and I resonated with this because I did cry for some reason. I did cry when I finished that cross line and I saw my good friend Joseph. I was so emotionally unstable. Like, I was super happy that I finished, but I was also not very satisfied that I couldn't break sub 3. But I think being happy beat it everything that was running through my head, because obviously that was a really big accomplishment for me. And when I finished that cross line, I was just like super happy that it was over. Like y'all see in the previous videos, I was really struggling out there. I had blisters on my left leg, and it was really hard. Like, it was the hardest thing that I ever done, for sure. So yeah, I cried for some reason, just seeing Joseph on the side cheering for me. And I think it was wholesome moment. It was really a once in a lifetime experience for me, because it was my first marathon. And yeah, it was overall great memory and experience. So that's the fourth thing that happened to my body. Okay, so the fifth thing that could happen to your body after you finish that cross line is your brain is gonna release a lot of endorphins, which is a happy hormone, and you could feel super high, aka runner's high. These endorphins usually help you to relieve pain and stress, and it improves your mood. Basically, my brain was releasing a lot of these happy hormones, and that's why I was super emotionally unstable. And I was really happy, and I was tired, and a lot of things running inside my head. And it was just something that I've never experienced. Like I said, it was my first marathon, so it was great to feel that runner's high. Yeah, so definitely my brain was releasing a lot of endorphins, and yeah, that was a good thing. I was super happy, obviously in a good mood that I finished after all this preparation, after all this hard work and sweat that I've been through for past 3-4 months. So yeah, it was a wholesome moment, and definitely a moment to remember. So that was the fifth thing that happened to my body. Okay, so the last thing, sixth thing that you're gonna experience after 26.2 miles is that you're gonna sleep like a baby. And this was 100% true for me. So let me explain a little. I finished a race, came back to the dorms, got some food, ate a lot, and I was like, okay, let's take a solid 45-minute nap. So I set my alarm, lay down in bed. As soon as I got into the bed, I was out. So I don't even remember a single second. I think this never really happens to me. It takes me about 5 to 10 minutes to fall asleep entirely. But on this specific day, I got into the bed, and as soon as I got there, I was out, really, and I was supposed to sleep for 45 minutes, but I ended up taking a nap for about hour and 45 minutes. So I was like, okay, my body really needs to sleep right now and to rest fully, because that's when when you're super tired, that your body simply needs to sleep more. You know what I mean? I didn't even hear my alarm go off, so I think that was a sign that really showed that my body really needed to rest after 3 hours and 16 minutes of struggling. And like I said, and when I usually take naps, I cannot sleep well in the evening. I'm not sure if it is same with everyone, but I just cannot simply sleep if I take 2-3 hour naps. But on this specific day, I woke up from nap, ate a lot more food, And at night, you know, I usually go to bed between 10 to 10:30. I also did a nighttime routine in the previous videos, and you know, I usually go to bed 10 to 10:30, but and I was a little bit afraid that I might not fall asleep immediately, but I was totally wrong. I got into the bed and I was gone after like literally 5 minutes. Like nothing have changed. So really slept like a baby. You know, that was the another thing that happened to my body that, you know, that I kind of found it interesting, because you know, that never happened to me in the past. So yeah, that was a really good experience. Okay, so that was it for my today's video. Hopefully you all learned a lot of valuable lessons about what actually happens to our body after running 26.2 miles, which is 42 kilometers. So yeah, hopefully, you know, that was helpful. You know, if you're gonna go for your first marathon, you know, these videos might help, you know, to kind of expect what you could experience, so that you physically won't be shocked when you experience those things. So yeah, I really enjoy making these videos, you know, about learning about body. You know, that's something I'm super passionate about, so I'll probably do more of these, you know, more scientific videos, you know, showing like explaining what happens to the body, and you know, what nutrition does to our body. So yeah, thank you for sticking around, and if you like this video, make sure to check out the video up here where I talk about my first ever marathon. And you know, in this I put a lot of effort into this one, and you know, I was kind of documenting what I do on the race day and the day before. So yeah, with that being said, thank you for sticking around, and I'll see you in the future videos. Peace.